Good day for everyone. Subject English, 11th grade. Teacher Minapova Jadra. School named after Shohan Walihанов. The topic of today's lesson is participles. In this lesson, students will be able to learn the use of participles in present participles, perfect participles, and the past participles. Learn the difference among them. Also, we'll practice transforming them in sentences. Now look at the first warm-up exercise. Can you guess which two words can be cut out of this sentence without changing the meaning? Now look at the sentence. The girl who is taking the test is dyslexic, so she's been given an extra half an hour. So what words can be cut out here? Yes, you are right. The words who and the is. So without the words who is, the meaning of the sentence doesn't change. The girl taking the test is dyslexic, so she's been given an extra half an hour. Now look at the what is participles and the kind of participles. Here we have participle 1 and the participle 2. Participle 1 can be called also present participle. So to form present participle, we add ing form at the end of the verb. For example, writing. And participle 2, sometimes called past participle. To form past participle, we use irregular form with the ed end, or we can use irregular verbs in the third form. For example, written. Now look at the forms of participle 1. Here we have two forms, active and the passive. In active simple, we use the verb with ing, seeing. But in passive simple, we use the word being and the verb 3, being seen. And now look at the perfect participle. Perfect active structure is having seen, and the passive perfect structure is having been seen. Now look at the general rules. Present, perfect, and the past participles can be used as an alternative to the normal subject plus verb plus object sentence structure. Present participles end in ing. Past participles usually end in ed, although there are many irregular verbs: seen, gone, brought, or etc. Perfect participles are formed using having plus past participle. Now look at the present participles. Present participles can be used after prepositions and the conjunctions, such as after, before, when, while, on, and despite. For example, after revising for 4 hours, I took a break. Here, the conjunction is after, and the present participle is the word revising. Also, present participles use it to mean because. For example, being a good public speaker, Adrian had no problems getting into the school debating team. Present participles also can be used to talk about actions happening at the same time. Look at an example. Waiting for the exam to start, Carol went through her revision notes one more time. And the present participles also can be used to replace some relative clauses. For example, the teacher taking your class today is called Mr. Jenkins. Or you can say the teacher who is taking your class. Now look at perfect participles. Perfect participles can be used after prepositions and conjunctions, such as after, before, when, while, on, despite. Look at an example. After having revised for 4 hours, I took a break. And also, perfect participles mean the word because. For example, having been a good public speaker at school, Adrian decided to join the university debating team. Perfect participles also use it to talk about actions happening in sequence. For example, having waited for half an hour for the exam to start, Carol nervously turned over the paper. Now let's look at past participles. Past participles can sometimes be used as an alternative passive form. For example, built in 1736, the school buildings are in a bad state of repair. And past participles can be used to replace some relative clauses. For example, a teacher called Mr. Jenkins took our class today. So here, a teacher who is called Mr. Jenkins. Now look at the first exercise. Here we have 4 sentences. You have to translate these sentences. Look at the first sentence. Laughing, the girls ran out of the classroom. So how would you translate it into Kazakh? Қыздар сыныптан күліп тұрып шығып кетті. Now look at the second sentence. The trees growing in front of the school were given to us as a present. Мектептің алдында өсіп тұрған талдар бізге сыйлық ретінде берілді. Let's look at the third sentence. Feeling very tired, she went to bed early. So what is the translation? Ол өзін шаршаңқы сезініп, ерте жатып қалды. Here we have the last sentence. Have you noticed the broken kitchen window? Yes, you are right. Сен ас үйдегі сынған терезені байқадың ба? Now let's move to the next exercise. Open the brackets, use participle 1 or participle 2. Here we have 5 sentences. You have to open these brackets and add ing form, or you have to change it into past form. So the first sentence is, who is that boy do his homework at that table? You have to change the verb do. Yes, you are right. It is doing. Now let's move on. The loose dog was found at last. Yes, you are right. It is lost. The lost dog was found at last. Now let's look at the third sentence. Name some places visited by you last year. So how would you change the word visit? You are right. It is visited. Now let's move to the next sentence. The floor washed by Helen looked very clean. Yes, you are right. The floor washed by Helen looked very clean. Now here we have the last sentence. Read the translate sentences once more. Very good. Translated. Let's move to the next exercise. Use a participle to join each pair of sentences. We have to join two short sentences. For example, the new girl was sitting at the front of the class. She was called Karen. And the right answer is the new girl sitting at the front of the class was called Karen. Now look at the second sentence. I opened my bag. I realized I'd left my books at school. We have to join two short sentences. Yes, very good. And the right answer is after or on opening my bag, I realized I'd left my books at school. Let's look at the next sentence. It was compiled by a team of experts. It is widely recognized as the most up-to-date dictionary in the world. So how would you join two short sentences? Very good, well done. Having been compiled by a team of experts, it is widely recognized as the most up-to-date dictionary in the world. Look at the next example. Adrian was handed the exam paper. Adrian realized that he was in the wrong exam. And the answer is good job. We can start with on being, or you can start after being, or you can say after having been handed the exam paper, Adrian realized he was in the wrong exam. Now look at the next sentence. I had never sat in the driving seat before. I was terrified for the whole of my first driving lesson. We have to join two sentences. And the right answer is, yes, you are right. Never having sat in the driving seat before, I was terrified for the whole of my first driving lesson. Now let's move to the next exercise, which is called multiple choice. Here, this sentence contains an extra word. You have to find from this sentence an extra word. The boys who sitting at the back of the class were throwing paper aeroplanes. So, which is the extra word? Who, where, or sitting? No, not where. How do you think which of them are extra word? Yes, you are right. Who is an extra word? Now let's look at the next example. All of the pupils were taught by Mr. Carlton this year passed the exam. And how do you think which of them are extra words? Pupils, where, by. No, not by. And not pupils. And the right answer is where. Where is an extra word. Now let's continue. Not I having studied economics at school, I had a lot of catching up to do when I started my politics degree. So the extra word is here. Yes, you are right. The first I is an extra word. Now let's look at the next sentence. Who is the teacher who taking us for German next year? And the extra word is who is or who or taking. Which of them is extra word? Yes, you are right. Who is an extra word? Here we have the last sentence. Having been done a lot of research, I found writing the essay quite straightforward. So here you have to find an extra word. No, not having, not done. Yes, you are right. The word been is an extra word. Yes, very good. Well done. And here we have the reflection of our lesson. At the end of the lesson, learners reflect on their learnings. Can you answer to these questions? What did you learn in class? And what was the most interesting? And what was left incomprehensible? And was this lesson helpful to you? Let's answer to this question and show your reflection to our lesson. Good luck for everyone.